Welcome back to 82 Rugby Chat for another week. I think I predicted in the big game last week that Tyree would beat Southern, and they duly did, but it was very, very tight. Now, tonight, we're still on Club Rugby. We're going to talk about the Highlanders, but no, we chopped them. They've lost. They lost again. We might mention Marnonda tonight, boys, but... So tonight I've got with me, I've got Robbie Breen. He's the forward coach. He thinks he's the forward coach at Alhambra Union. And I've got the long-serving Coldie, Brent McCormack from Green Island. Because we're probably going to get on the next couple of weeks, we're going to probably talk about semi-final rugby. So we thought we'd get a couple of the other clubs in, just to do a bit of a season wrap, really. So we'll start with you, Coldie. So the first question I've got for you, now I've heard a rumour. Now you won a few weeks ago against the Hawks, and I hear you only won 2 games all year, and I hear you went at the game. Is that right?
Well, once again, Paul, you've got your facts wrong, because I was at the game. I missed the game against Alhambra because I had to do something pretty exciting. But and I was at the game down at Harbour, very hard place to go and play and win. And the boys put on a really polished performance, and we had a great victory down there and enjoyed the spoils. So.
Can't believe I got that wrong. I obviously was given that information by some dirty Tyree Hill.
Oh.
So look, what motive? Like, man, it's been a tough year for you guys, and you're lucky you've got a big game coming up. We'll talk about that later on. But so what motivates you and the lads at this stage of the year when you've got 2 or 3 games to go? You're at the bottom of just about at the bottom of the comp. What keeps the boys going at this stage of the year? Just your great motivation skills?
Oh, hell, I think the boys are probably sick of hearing from me. But the good thing with the Green Island guys, really young team, and there's a lot of good Green Island boys there who played Colts. You know, maybe 9 or 10 of them played schoolboys for Green Island. So they're Green Island people, which is fantastic. So the club's going to be in good stead. We're just going through a bit of a rebuilding phase. It's been hard in the last few years to try and get players
and get the
same guys. Coming through, like if we didn't have a Colts side last year, then we probably wouldn't have a Prem side this year.
Right.
You know, so John Finney, who coached the Colts last year, did a fantastic job. Young guys come through. You know, we've lost 1 or 2 guys for various reasons, and young guys stepped up. Big learning curve for them, but hey, they want to do well for the club. They want to do well for themselves. They're learning every Saturday. And we're making progress. We are, you know.
Right, mate. We'll come back to that because I want to talk a bit about where Green Island goes from here. So, Breen, we'll bring you in. Now, you've won 5 straight.
That's correct.
But you've had the mercurial "In God We Trust," Peter Breen. In fact, I think he's a relation to yours. He's been playing. So, look, are you a one-player club? Because if he plays, you win.
Yeah, no, the results have gone Peter's way. He's played extremely well. We had a hell of a time early on. With injuries, I think at one point out of the...
I was talking at one stage, you and I talked about this earlier in the season, you had about 17 injuries at one stage.
It was 17 out of the original squad, 28 were out. And, Peter is the big rudder to the ship. And without him, we did struggle. But, the injuries were a huge part of it. He was one of the 17. I think if you look at that table that's down there in front of you, we're only actually 1 win behind Kaikorai and Southern. So it has, in the end, it's turned to a good year.
You didn't pick up a lot of bonus points, and that's crucial.
Right.
So but you've won 5 straight.
That's
apart
right.
from "In God We Trust," Breeny, what do you put that down to? You must have been starting to play some good code though now.
Yeah, we've definitely tidied up a lot of areas. We've got a heck of a lot more organised. We've been able to be consistent with the team that we're picking. Just excitement, a lot of excitement around the club. I think Coldie, exactly what he said with his Green Island lads. It's shaping for a heck of an exciting year next year, with a lot of players returning. Peter hopefully being there.
So the rumours that you guys are combining with Kaikorai to get a senior team out of that, is that not right?
No, absolutely not.
Half your club's combined with Kaikorai. I can't work out who's playing who next week because the Orcs, or whatever you call the Orcs.
Yeah,
so you can dispel that rumour right here that you're definitely not combining with Kaikorai next year.
Absolutely. Alhambra Union is an extremely strong club with a really good culture. It's an exciting club to be a part of. But it's good.
I want to play the violin.
It's good. It's good for the Prem 2 boys. They need a run. The worst thing that ever happened at comp was Colts going to under 21, but that's another issue.
Yeah.
But it's good because that Prem 2 avenue does need to be there for those guys that are too old for Colts but want to play Prem Rugby.
So, Cody, we'll bring you back in. So, you're talking about. So, are you staying on next year? First question. Will they still want you?
Yeah, good question. No, I'm sure they do, but
right.
Maybe it's time for a change. To be fair,
Do you think
different
that?
voice? Yeah, for sure. It's I've had 4 really good years there. They've been hard years, but I'm a bit of a fighter myself and like a challenge, and great people out there. They really are, and there's a couple of older guys like Dean Moorhew and Andre Clark. Those guys are capable of stepping up. There's the Short brothers
Yeah,
put
it's
their
still
hand
floating
up.
around.
You know, sure.
So you probably will step down at this stage?
probably will, mate. Yeah.
So what do you? I was going to ask you about that. You've already half answered the question. I was thinking, where is the future for the small clubs like Green Island with not enough feeder teams? But you think, boys, with the plan you've got, and a lot of Green Island boys are playing, you think they're going to be okay?
Oh, yeah, like I said,
let's be honest, I've seen them play,
Yeah.
and there is some really talented kids there, but they are very, very young. So,
yeah.
you reckon?
Yeah, we've got to respect that fact. They are young, and we're not making excuses, but they're going to be better off next year. All the lessons I've learned this year, and then you're like, if we can get some help from the union, if they bring players in, we just need a wee bit of quality to go with what we've got. And like we've had Braden Mitchell play for us, Buxton Popolelli, he played last week. He played for 20, 30 minutes before he got injured.
And that made a big difference in that varsity game.
And it sparks the boys up,
Yep.
and it does, and it's just a wee bit of leadership the guys are doing. Like Braden Mitchell, we come to our line out, we've got good faith that he's going to hit his lineouts, And
Right.
I mean, you need set piece to start your game.
Okay, so you've got. You think they've got right now? You've got you've got a good basis for these guys to move on.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Right, boys. We better move on to the Form 15, and we've got lots of changes this week. We'll talk about the backs first, lads. Now we're dumping Brad Weber. He's out because he didn't play last week. I'm putting the best halfback in pound for pound in town. Now you don't have to agree with that. Like how old is he now? About 117?
I think he's 38, and that's not bad.
I tell you what, he's playing bloody good footy. We're dropping, much to your horror, Breen, we're going to drop Peter Breen. He's been in too long. This kid here, even though he's a Highlander add-on, he's the best first five in town by 25 minutes. I can say that.
Yeah,
Safety.
he's quality.
And Jamie Joseph should be playing the first five for the Highlanders. We're also going to drop... we're going to put Liam Edwards back in. Sean Connery's gone from Kaikra. Edwards is quick. He's kicking lots of points, so he's in. And the only other guy we're dropping is Corey Rapini. He's a fullback anyway, so we're kicking him out. Now, Brownie reckons this kid here, now you saw him play, this kid here's come over from Japan. He's the top try scorer in Japanese rugby, which is not normally a Japanese player. It's normally one of the imports. You watched him play. How good's this kid?
Oh, he's very good. And he, the first time I seen him get the ball, I thought, geez, where's this guy come from? He had some quality. And every time he got the ball, he's a real threat. He chased kicks. He worked hard. He's a good rugby player. So.
Right. He's in.
Let's keep him here. Yeah.
Okay, now on this team, we're leaving Tama Turangi. I think he's playing well enough. I'm actually using the Dunedin number 6, by the way, as the hooker, Aaron Clark. This kid he's exceptional for a guy. He's 2'1". He's exceptional. Craig Miller played well enough for Pirates. He's staying in. This is the only two I think he's the next thing in Otago rugby. I think he takes over from your boy, the one that's injured, in the Otago team. The lock.
Oh, Jackson. Yeah,
Jackson Amopo. Well, I reckon this kid. Carl Bloxham, by the way, is in hospital, lads. He tore all his hamstring straight off the bone.
He'll be a huge loss to.
Yeah, he's a big loss. So he's out. Sam Poole from Dunedin's going back in there. We're dropping Willis Scott, even though I hear he played pretty well. But we're kicking him out. We're putting Brodie Hume. We're putting his locking partner in here. Johnny Appleby's at 7, and I actually got to change. Well, I've missed a change, and we're going to put Leon on number 8. And sorry, Craig Miller, we've kicked him out. We're lying. We're kicking him out. Andre Clark, now he's been around the scene for a long, long time. He'll be well in his 30s now. He's played for Pirates, but he's
for Southern. He won the
banner
with Southern. Yeah,
he's playing good code for you guys.
Yeah, he's playing good. 60 minutes. No, he's going real good.
Right, boys, we better move on to the games this weekend, and there are some big games coming up. Let's start with home team first. Zingaree Harbour. That's tight.
Zingaree.
You're going Zingaree?
Yeah.
I'll back Zingaree, even I don't want them to win because we got them last game.
True.
So, but yeah, okay.
Kaikorai, now, so you've got Kaikorai GI. Now, you're going to go up there to play them. You can kill their season on Saturday, can't you?
Oh, we certainly can, and we'll be doing all we can to do that. But Hunt's is pretty well organised, he's a very good coach, and he'll have the boys to charge, and so it should be a good contest.
Okay, so you're going to go with GI. You'll be taking...
No, I'll back GI.
Back GI's two boys on. Good work.
Yeah, no.
I think you're both mad, personally, but... So, come back to you, Tyree Alhambra Union.
Yeah, Tyree.
Tyree, easy.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
No,
You've got to go out there.
We're
Who you got
well.
playing this week?
It's the same team as last week.
Yes. So you still won't have your big hooker. Manson's playing number 8. Something in the moment.
Tommy Vigo's in unbelievable form. Scotty Manson's
good cavalier, by the way, Tommy Vigo.
Yeah, he does go well. Hits a big nut, but
no,
we'll be right.
A lot better than you'll ever be.
We're tracking well.
So you're taking Alhambra Union?
Yep.
One of the big games of the round will be Uni Pirates, but Uni playing at home.
Yeah, I just think they've just got to... The Pirates they'll be competitive as they always are, but I think Varsity's just got a bit of a role. Yeah, they've got and the young Japanese boy they got playing for them, give him the ball and He's going to do some
points.
damage, yeah.
Okay, the big game. Oh, so what about you? Uni
Yeah,
Pirates?
varsity.
You're going to have the varsity. And the other big game, of course, is Southern. Desperate. They've got to win. Just about got to win to make it. Because they've got uni next week. So Southern, Dunedin. So you picking?
I'm going Dunedin.
You're going Dunedin?
Yeah, Southern are tracking the wrong way.
Right.
I'll go to Dunedin as well. I just think if they're playing at home, they're getting their finals time. Liam Edwards is playing. He'll kick his goals.
And they've got. I hear Dunedin have got a lot of players back this week. They had 5 or 6 out last week, but they're all back this week, so it could make a big difference. Now, the boys, we're just quickly before we finish, we want to talk about. Look, this top 4 is very, very interesting now. So I think there's 3 teams are safe. It's Tyree will finish top, Dunedin will finish second, University finish third, Kaikoura and Southern. It comes down to the wire. Who are you picking to make that top 4?
It's a really hard call. Both very good teams, and like Southern are going to miss their big lock.
Yes, Franklin, he's back next week.
Tom
I think.
Franklin.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's back for.
He's back next week,
if
as
they
far
make
as I'm
it.
aware.
Okay.
He's off the booze in Las Vegas, and he's coming back.
Okay. Look, I'll bet for Kaikoura.
Kaikoura, what about you?
I'm going Cox as well. Southern just look a bit disorganised at the moment and just tracking the wrong way.
Righto, boys. Look, thanks for your input tonight. Look, in the big game on the weekend, it is Dunedin Southern. That's the big game. It's for the Ron Reggett. Southern will be keen to get it back, but I'm afraid they won't do it. Dunedin win that 12 and under. And in that battle for the top 4, I'm sticking with the boys. I think Kaikoura will sneak through in the last week next week, and they'll make the top 4. And we'll be back talking probably semi-final football next week.